Ladies and gentlemen, the time is finally here. Season 3 of Rocket Arena has just gone live, and there is a lot going on in this 3.0 update. This video is going to be breaking down what all is new and what is surprisingly not mentioned in the update. But first things first, the biggest, and I think what most people are most excited for, is there is a new character in the game named Gant. That is G-A-N-T. I don't know where they came up with the name, but we'll roll with it. So, who is Gant? He looks like a bit of a superhero. This is the first character in Rocket Arena that is going to have two different forms. So that is very interesting, and it says here that he has two forms, his normal form and his hero form. And essentially what it looks like is as the game goes on, as you're playing Gant, excuse me, not Grant. I'm probably going to make that mistake a lot. As you're playing Gant, he has a gauge that will slowly fill up based on just over time it fills up, plus doing damage and taking damage with one of his abilities. And when the gauge is full, he will change into his hero form and will have a completely new move set, all new attacks and abilities. And once he changes into his hero form, his gauge will decrease over time, and when the gauge is empty, he will go back into his normal form. While in his normal form, like I said, the hero gauge is passively regenerated over time, and his primary and secondary abilities grant hero gauge while dealing or receiving damage respectively. Once the hero gauge is filled, he will automatically transform into his hero form and then reset his ability and dodge cooldowns and removing Mega Blast danger. That sounds really, really strong in my opinion. I think it's really cool to change into a new form, but the fact that when you change, it is a complete reset on your ability cooldowns, on your dodge cooldowns, and if you're in Mega Blast danger, it completely takes it away. That seems wild. And now, while in his hero form, the gauge does deplete over time, and when it is empty, he will automatically transform back into his normal form, and that also resets his ability cooldowns. So a lot of ability cooldown resets in this new character, which if you're able to time it correctly to where you dive on to an opponent and then change into your hero form and then do a bunch of damage, like you could use your abilities and then change forms and then immediately use your new abilities. But while we're talking about abilities, his normal form, his base primary attack, his left click, if you will, is called Talon Rockets. Accurate, fast-moving, rapid-fire rockets. Now, the way it sounds, they're going to shoot really, really quickly, maybe like probably not as fast as Plink, maybe like a Rev or something like that. And when you hit an opponent, it will fill your hero gauge. His secondary is called a Guard. You brace for attacks and you take less damage. This sounds similar to maybe like a Steen shield, except that you are still going to take damage, but you take less damage, and when you are hit, it fills your hero gauge, getting you that much closer to your transformation. His special ability is called Leap, and you leap forward with a brief speed boost and damage boost, and you automatically reload when you hit it. So I'm thinking this may be... The ability sounds like, as far as the buffs, while it's live, it may be something kind of along the lines of like a Jado. When you hit Jado's special, you shoot bigger rockets and do more damage. You have a little bit of a speed boost. So it may be something along those lines, but the automatic reload is huge. Now onto his hero form. It's called the Golden Griffin. Like I said before, his cooldowns are reset and Mega Blast danger is removed when he transforms. His new primary is called Griffin Gauntlets, and he punches the air with powerful blasts of wind. Now that's intimidating, to say the very least. Now, his secondary is called Whirlwind. You become a spinning vortex, damaging nearby opponents. That almost sounds like a League of Legends move or something, where you're just spinning around, doing a big AoE splash damage. His new special is called Flying Charge, and you can blast through the sky with tremendous speed. You can also hold it down to fly even farther, and I do think that it does damage as well if you fly into an opponent, but we'll have to check that out. Hero's Cape, his jump Now, you jump higher and you hold to descend slowly. So this sounds just like Miss Steen. Miss Steen currently, if you jump and hold the jump key, then you will glide, so to speak, and it sounds like he will be doing that as well. He also has a passive in his hero form to where he takes less damage and moves faster as a base passive ability. So that is awesome. That is the new character. Now, besides the new character, the next thing people were wondering is the balances that came from the existing characters. We are coming fresh off of the first Rocket Arena tournament that was last month, but I think it's interesting to see the changes that were made to the characters based off of watching that tournament. But they also did say they are planning more tuning and balancing in the 3.1 update. So our next update will probably have a lot more character tuning. For this one, they only have 3 characters being touched. The first is Amphora. They see that she did get nerfed a little too hard, so her uncharged left click now has a bigger collision radius, and her fully charged left click does a little bit more damage. It's a little bit of a buff. I'll be interested to see if it changes to anything too much. She wasn't played too often in the tournament, and I just don't think she's that viable for competitive play at a high skill level, but she is still an interesting and fun character to play in pubs. Second character touched, was Leaf, and apparently some people were complaining that you weren't able to, when you fully charged his left click, you weren't able to shoot that left click as fast as some people wanted. So now the input blocking has been decreased from 0.65 seconds to 0.475 seconds. So if you have him snared and you're firing your little left clicks at it and then you hit a fully charged shot, you can now shoot your fully charged beam faster at your opponents. The third and final character to see some balancing and tuning was Miss Steen. Now, Miss Steen, as we saw in the tournament, at the most high level, if you have a really good Miss Steen, you're going to play really, really well, and she can be a real nuisance. But they did acknowledge that she has a lot of ways to soak up a lot of damage, and she's really hard to KO, from her movement abilities to her shielding to her phantasms. She has a lot of options as far as not getting KO'd and getting away from damage. So they decided to nerf her a little bit. Her cooldown for her shield was increased from 4 seconds to 5 seconds, which I think is good because 4 seconds is a really, really short cooldown. Her special has less damage immunity, so she actually had invincibility frames when she activated it and turned into her 2 models instead of 1. So knocking that down from 0.7 seconds to 0.55, I also think that's really good as well. Also, her jump was nerfed. Her levitation, her gliding around, the duration was nerfed from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Again, I think the good players are still going to play a good Miss Steen, but I think as a whole, these are pretty good nerfs that aren't going to affect the grand scheme of things. I think it brings her down a little bit more, and I think that's really good. As far as game modes and maps, there are no new maps. There are no new game modes, which is a little unfortunate. I was, in my wish list video, I kind of hoped we would see a new map maybe, but you never know. With the events coming forward, they may have a new one in the works, in the pipeline, that just wasn't ready for day 1 of Season 3. But they have added more game modes to more existing maps that weren't currently being played in the past. So at least we'll have a little diversity on that front. On another line of us not having, as we're seeing, not having a new map and game mode, we also don't have any news on ranked. Nothing in the updates said anything about ranked, which is really disheartening to an extent. The only thing that maybe, if you read between the lines, is when we have the line about there being more changes and character balances in update 3.1, maybe they're going to be balancing there to prepare for ranked. But the fact that there's no mention of ranked in the entire update notes is a little disheartening. All right, so we do have 3 new artifacts this season. And the first one in the first slot is called Forever Snowman. As you can see here, become invulnerable for up to 2 seconds when entering Mega Blast danger, and the blast meter regen delay is increased by 1.5 seconds. So this just seems like if I'm getting to danger a lot, but I'm playing a character that I know I can hide or get away from danger, then that's what I may run this, because I get straight to Mega Blast danger, but I'm not immediately going to get Mega Blasted because I literally am damage immune for up to 2 seconds. I can run away, but the trade-off is that I have to wait an extra 1.5 seconds for my regen delay, or my blast meter regen, to start. Secondly, here we have the championship trophy. Rocket jumps have more directional control and increased movement speed by up to 20% for 2 seconds. I think this will be really good for some of our more stationary characters. I feel like, even if they are in midair, like maybe a Top Notch or a Boon, maybe even this may even be like a Steen second artifact maybe, but just having more directional control when you are rocket jumping, I think, is really, really good and could only benefit. And then thirdly, we have Dark Matter, and this probably is the best one I have seen recently. Using an item, so you have to use an item, but using an item increases your damage and impulse that you deal to other people by 5%, reduces the damage and impulse taken by 5%, and increases your speed by 20% for up to 5 seconds. So all you have to do is use an item. Then not only do you have the item's ability that you have, but you also deal more damage and impulse, take less damage and impulse, and you have increased movement speed. I think this could be really, really strong. I think it could see a fair amount of play, and is probably the strongest out of the 3 new ones that we have so far. They also tuned some of the current artifacts. A little bit of a nerf. We didn't see a Blastbeard nerf directly, but some of his main artifacts were nerfed. So first up, we got Frozen Bubble. You can see here they increased the times on it. Jacque's Amulet was an increase in percentage. Cold Snap Locket was reduced by half at level 3. And then you see Crystal Crown was also reduced by 10% as well. So that'll be a little bit of an inadvertent nerf to Blastbeard moving forward. We'll have to see if any more artifact tuning comes through with that 3.1 update. Now, something completely cosmetic and completely brand new to the game. It shouldn't affect gameplay at all, but they are introducing the cosmetics of emotes, and they're doing this in multiple different ways. First up, chat emotes. It says here, express your thoughts and highlight a great play using the in-game chat emotes to make your hero play an animation even while moving. So it seems like while you're in-game, you can do emotes. Hopefully it's not like as crazy as Fortnite dances or anything like that. The biggest thing about this, I think, as far as it can be funny, it has the potential to be BM, but you can cancel it at any time. So you can cancel it if you start getting attacked or you need to do something else. You also have a ready emote, so when you're in the pregame menu and you're selecting your characters, I believe, you can use emotes there that only your teammates can see. So that is another thing to do. You also will have 4 slots available, so you can use multiple different ones. You will also have 4 slots on your chat emotes. Then they have victory poses that will be post-game. You only have 1 victory pose there, or at least 1 option, but you can select different ones you have when you unlock or purchase new ones. How to equip them? You just go to the competitors tab like you wanted to change an artifact or equip a different skin. They will have a new tab there for expressions, and then you choose which one you would like to do. Another cosmetic thing they added is Totem Companions, and I think this is just different. I think this is kind of cool, a little more uniqueness. It gives the totems a little extra flair that they may have otherwise been missing. You now have little pets and cutesy things that you can put on your totem, that you see going into the game and post game behind your character. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's going to do it for me. I'll try to have some more videos out really, really soon. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. I hope to see you guys really, really soon. Peace.